Good Saturday morning and welcome to another edition of the award-winning Outdoors with Larry Ray.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife Resources Agency.
Now, here's your host, Larry Ray.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this August the 10th. And 1 week from today, I can't wait. That me and my friend sitting across from me over there is our co-host, Ron Wong.
Hey, good morning, Larry. Good morning, everybody.
Right. Where are we going to be next Saturday, Ron? Huh?
I have to tell you, I am so excited. We're going to be in Springfield, Missouri.
Yes.
At the
Johnny
Morris Convention Center.
Yep.
Next door to the wonderful wildlife of the outdoors.
And the aquarium and everything.
God,
and
that's
because
an awesome place.
It is the Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame 1 week from today. And I know the guy on the line with us today, Ron, he is in the countdown mode. I know it.
He's just a little bit busy.
I think so? Yeah.
But, he has a crew. His family
his
does
family.
a wonderful job and making sure everything is perfect at the event. And I got to tell you, there are a few tickets left, I think.
No, they're gone.
They're gone.
They're gone now. I mean,
wow.
According to the man himself, and we got Gary Mason on the line with us this morning. And Gary, he is the founder, of course, of the Legend of the Outdoor Hall of Fame. And Gary, first of all, good Saturday morning to you, buddy.
Man, I tell you what, I'm just a week away from being on cloud 10.
Yes, a 1 week away, and to have Gary on, and not only do we have Gary on with us for the entire show with Ron. Of course, Ron is the official photographer
yes,
for the
I
Legends
am.
of the Outdoors.
Oh, gosh, I'm excited.
Yeah, he'll have. Do you have enough film, Ron, for next week?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, we're using that film.
His one and only job is to make me look good,
and he will.
And I can do that
from different angles. You know that, but
yeah.
No profiles for me, okay? But
right, and mostly not behind bars.
That's
right?
right.
And for all you listeners out there, after next Saturday, come Monday or Tuesday, there should be some pictures up. Of the wonderful event, the Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
They'll be on Larry Ray, REA, that is.
That's right.
.com.
Yeah, we'll have all those, and of course they'll be posted. But Gary has been so kind to us, and of course he's the one that stunned me back a couple of years ago when on this show announced that I was part of the inductees. But Gary's been kind enough to help us put together this special show on this Saturday morning. And it's going to talk.
Great preview show of what's going to happen.
Of what's going to happen, and not only just to preview the event itself, but we're going to talk to some of the inductees. We're going to talk to the man who handles all the Legends of the Outdoors spokesperson, and that's Ronnie Cuz Strickland. And folks, I've been all through this week, if you've been following me on Facebook, every day I've announced a new person. And I can't tell you the reception we have got on who's going to be on today's show, but I'm going to go ahead and rung them off here because Gary helped put this together, and me and Ron are just going to coast along as Gary stays with us. Cuz Strickland going to be in the second segment here. How about Tyler and Bill Jordan of Realtree fame?
Wow.
We had Tyler and Bill on
several months ago.
Yes, back in 2023. One of our most listened to segments. He won a couple of awards, in fact. And just to think to get Bill and his son Tyler, we'll have them. And Bobby Hart. Man, I would not want to be. He and Quickly Down Under should get together. I mean,
yeah.
When it comes to long-range shooting, he is the master at that. And we're going to have Bobby Hart home. He is an inductee this year, as is Bill Jordan. How about Will Primos? Yes, the man himself from Jackson, Mississippi, came out of the restaurant business, and we all know what happened to Primos hunting calls and what they are. Gary has lined up Will, and then we'll close out today's show with Gary, Ron, and me as we do a little reminiscing. But Gary, first of all, thank you, man, for helping us put together this great show.
Oh, man, I'm glad to do it. You know, we've got a lot of wonderful people we're going to talk to today, and we couldn't get them all on, but I'm sure that you'll circle back around and get some of these other inductees that's going in this year on, like Ken Driscoll and Bill Cooper and some of them. But, gosh, it's going to be such a wonderful event. You know, everybody talks about the event and how good it is each and every year, and I hear all the time that people say, "Oh man, this was the best one ever." Well, they're all great in their own right, and it's because of all of you guys, the men and women of the outdoors industry, that help us make it that way. It's not because of me or my family. We work really hard all year long.
You really do, yes.
To put this together, but and it's a labor of love. But man, it's because of all the great people we've got in the outdoors industry that I mean, I can't say enough about them. And for me to get to stand on that stage with each and every one of them, it's
goosebumps.
A true blessing to me.
It's a memory maker, folks. I mean, goosebumps. Let's go ahead and at least name these guys, because we got Bill Carson, a field marketing manager in the fishing group at Johnson Outdoor. That's Humminbird, Minn Kota, Cannon, and Lake Master. And I said Bobby Hart's going in this year. Bill Jordan. How about Mike Pentecost, the president, founder and owner of Woodhaven Custom Game Company?
Wow.
Our good friend Bill Cooper, legendary outdoor communicator.
Great guy.
Great guy. He's going in. Will Primos, of course, we said. Our good friend Kent Driscoll, which we just had on the show a couple of weeks ago.
That's right. About 2 weeks ago, we had him talking about being inducted.
Yeah, pro staff manager for B&M Company, Drift Master, Crappie Magnet, and, of course, he's on the board of directors for this great event. And Murray Crow, the creator of Mojo Mallard. And, this is going to be 8 people coming into the Hall of Fame. So many other awards, Gary, that you hand out, which makes the event even more spontaneous, right? I mean...
oh, yeah. We've got Miss Tess Jolly is going to get the Wade Bourne Outdoor Communicator
Oh,
of the Year
that's
award.
right. Yeah.
I got the very first one. I can always say that, Gary. And
that's right. You did. We're starting a new award this year. Jimmy Tristout is getting the Legends of the Outdoors Artist of the Year award.
Yes. Yeah. And you got some other ones you're going to give as we go along. It's all about patriotism. Now, are you going to be able to follow it on the event next Saturday, or are we going to be able to pick up some of it streaming?
We won't be live streaming it, but we will be filming it for an upcoming episode of Legends of the Outdoors.
Yes.
And it will be in its entirety produced and put on our YouTube channel, which is Legends of the Outdoors TV.
Yes, there it is.
You will be able to go back and watch it, and that way you can see it on our YouTube channel.
Well, it's just a main event, folks. It starts, doors open about 9, I think Gary said. The program's around 10:30, and it is a luncheon-like atmosphere, but you will rub shoulders with some of the greatest people, those of you lucky
I can
enough.
tell you that
yeah.
Somebody asked me the other day who all was going to be there besides the inductees and the awardees. And I said, well, Larry Ray's coming. Ron Wong's going to be there. Brenda Valentine's going to be there. Harold Knight's going to be there. Daryl Van Vactor's going to be there.
Yes.
Paul Alpers and many, many more outdoor celebrities.
Our friend Glenn Wheeler, Sheriff of Newton County, Arkansas.
That's right. Glenn will be there. And
I feel safe now. Yeah.
Of course, Tess Jolly's husband, Ron, who is a legend in his own right.
We know Ron.
Legendary photographer.
And I'm sure Joella will be there.
Joella will be there.
Joella Bates.
Lynch,
yes.
Joella Bates. And Joella is getting ready to head to Slovakia.
Yes, she is.
Slovakia,
Yes. And we're gonna help
the 3D archery longbow.
We're gonna help Joella raise that funds that she needs and everything. But this is next Saturday, folks. This will be the 22nd, right?
This is our 22nd induction ceremony. We've been doing this for 23 years. We had to miss the year that COVID struck America so bad. But yes, this is our 22nd induction ceremony.
Wow. And it's a wonderful event, folks. I'm excited. I was back there when it started over in Nashville at a hotel, and we went to the General Jackson, and now it is in the premier facility, Gary. I mean, this when you think about the Johnny and Jenny Morris Conference Center there at the Bass Pro, as Ron was talking about, folks. So we're going to talk about it all on today's show. We're going to take our first break of the morning. And we're going to come right back and talk to you. If you said Ronnie Strickland, I'm not sure a lot of people would know that. You throw in Cuz, and you got to like somebody named Cuz. And so we're going to take a break, come back with Ron Wong, Gary Mason, and the man himself, Cuz Strickland, on Outdoors with Larry Ray. We'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray, and good morning to all you folks in Brownsville on AM 1520 and 95.3 FM, and you folks in Jackson on News Talk 101.5, and of course right here in Memphis, Tennessee on AM 790, 92.9 HD FM every Saturday morning from 9 to 10:30. And today, of course, it is second Saturday, and he's normally here, and he is here. A great part of this show over the years, and that's my good buddy Ron Wong. And good Saturday morning again to you, Ron.
Hey, good morning, Larry. Good morning, Gary. Good morning, everybody. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood this Saturday morning.
Yes, and he mentioned Gary, and yes, that we have the man himself, the founder of the Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame, on the line with us. And Gary, I know we've kind of kicked this baby off, and a week from today, at this time, where we're broadcasting from in Memphis here from 9 to 10:30, we will be right there at the Johnny and Jenny Morris Conference Center as we do the 22nd annual Legend of the Outdoors Hall of Fame banquet. And we've got a guest next coming on with us that I think he knows a thing or two about this. I mean, he's been to a few of them. He's a 2013 inductee, and that's our good friend Cuz Strickland. Good morning, Cuz.
Good morning. I'm glad it's not turkey season. Saturday mornings are a good time to be in the turkey woods.
Don't get me going on that. That's for sure. But Gary, when you set this, help us set this show up today with nothing but information about this year's event. I'm so glad you set up to start with Cuz, because Cuz has become a valuable part of your team, right? Tell us about your relationship to
Cuz. One thing I'll say about Cuz Strickland is he's never turned me down for anything that I asked him for. He's been right there for us. And a few years ago, I asked him if he would become our national spokesperson for the Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame. And he just immediately agreed to do it. He didn't ask me what he had to do. He just said, I'm in. And that's the way he's always been. And Cuz, we appreciate you so much for everything you do.
Well, it's make no mistake about this. This came from Gary Mason and his wife drawing on a napkin. I had nothing to do with it.
It was a good napkin, Cuz.
Yeah, I was blessed to see a little bit about it when Toxie Hayes went in. But it's like Gary says, you may just roll your eyes or not think much about it until you attend one in person.
Yes.
But
yeah.
And if you ever go to one in person, it's like, holy cow, those are our kind of people, and it just touches your heart. And Gary knew that. That's why he started it.
Well, it's a memory maker. I know it has been for me, not only being on that stage, but being in there beforehand when it's been in other venues and whatever it is. And I know Cuz, a lot of you folks out there, you know Cuz from the Mossy Oak days. And, of course, I've known Cuz ever since that, when I wrote that very first story about Mossy Oak and the great folks, Bob Dixon, the late Bob Dixon, and Mr. Sugg and Toxie, and Cuz comes along and makes Mossy Oak what it is today. He's still part of that Mossy Oak family. And then the other part of that is that Cuz, you went in 2013, and I know this event is special for all of us who have been inducted, but it's extra special to go up on that stage and be surrounded by what you think is your peers and heroes, right?
It's unbelievable, and if not for Gary, none of us would do that. And it kind of sinks in. It's like, well, this ain't no big deal. And you start looking down that list, and you see Forrest Elwood and Fred Bear, all these people, and you just go,
yes,
this is real, and it's just overwhelming. And I'm not about accolades, neither are any of the people that went in there.
Yes.
But it's just such a special thing to be recognized by your peers. And, I can't thank Gary enough. Well, the year I went in, Toxie and Bill and I got together, and we had a little plaque made with an arrow on it.
Oh.
And it's called the Angel's Arrow, and it was one time only, and we gave it to Gary Mason.
Yes, yeah.
Just because he's got a heart of gold. I thought that was a cool thing to.
Yeah,
to
he does.
Well, Gary,
I've still got it, man. It's you're choking me up because I remember that moment and certainly didn't expect it, but it was a magic moment for Toxie Hayes and Cuz Strickland and Bill Sugg to hand that to me and tell me that was one of a kind. That was really something.
Well, I know that when I had Gary on the show two years ago, and it's the only time I've been speechless is when he told me that I was going into the Hall of Fame. And I said, Gary, I think I was speechless for like 4 hours, it felt like. I didn't know what to say, but and really, Gary, the tributes, and Cuz, I know that from your part, you've been up there like I have, whether it was on the General Jackson or whether it was in the Sheridan in Nashville, that this thing has become a memory-making event, right, Cuz? I mean,
yeah, and what's so special about it? And I'll quote one of my favorite theologians, Dolly Parton. She made the comment.
Yeah.
She made the comment. It's not so much about the score. I enjoy the game.
Yeah.
And what's special about those people going in is their contribution.
Yes.
It's not about how many big deer I got or I'm won this many fishing contests.
Yeah.
It's about a lifetime of giving back and getting them dig into that. And when you see that, and when you hear those people's accolades when they get up there, it's like, this is different.
It is, and it's a special thing that we've needed, and I know Gary and Cindy and the whole family, because this is a family affair. And Gary, you've always made that a point, and Cuz will agree with this. There's a lot of faith in this. There's a lot of patriotism in this. Was that the plan, Gary, that you wanted to incorporate that?
Absolutely. I tell people each and every year, and I've said this since the get-go, that, that if it offends you because we pray to our God or salute our flag or thank our soldier, we'll quit long enough for you to, we'll quit long enough for you to, we'll quit long enough for you to get out of the room. It's just, we owe it to our soldiers. We owe it to our God.
Yeah.
We owe it to our country for each and every minute we get to spend on the water or in the woods.
Yeah.
Cuz and I've talked about that many times, and most outdoorsmen feel that way. Nobody can contemplate the things we've seen by being hunters and fishermen that God has showed us.
Yes, and Cuz you've seen that the growth of what has become. I mean, Mossy Oak, you were. Almost you were the third hire or fourth hire? I don't remember what, but you were one of those things. Yeah.
Yeah, been here a long, long time, and thanks to them, I've got to see some of the things Gary talks about. The wounded vets. I do a lot of talks in churches and stuff like that, and it's always about some of the divine intervention I've seen while we're out there, and that's the only place it happens for me is out in God's great outdoors.
That's right.
And that's a perfect place to talk about that because he is in that room, I'll promise.
I promise. So if as the national spokesperson, I think everybody that's in the Hall of Fame is a spokesperson. You are the national man. If someone was to ask you, what is this event about? What would you say, Cuz?
Yeah, paying homage to people that spent their whole life promoting ethics and sportsmanship in the outdoors and passing that torch.
Yes.
And I think the reason Gary got me involved as a spokesperson because I'm like the only old guy he knows with a big social media following. I got a lot of Facebook, and Instagram, and TikTok. And I can help get that word out. Not that he helps it, but he knows I'm dialed in with exactly what he's thinking. And I'm honored to have a little accolade in that. That means more to me than being in the Hall of Fame, to be honest with you.
Well, I know that you can look back, and your roots are in the ground, in the dirt, as we say. And all of us that love the outdoors and do that. But when it comes to this event, it's not just the 8 inductees that are going in; it's the people who show up. I mean, when you walk in the room, there's no ego in that room. I mean, there's compadreship, camaraderie, and Ron, you could say that for yourself. You've been in that room, and everybody looks different in a coat and tie sometimes.
I don't recognize a lot of people because of that, but I have to tell you, it's quite a feeling to be in that room with all of these legends, all of these great people of the outdoors who, not only are they good at what they do or they're that discipline that they're in, but each and every person wants to continue to grow the outdoor industry, and they have a passion for it, and it shows. And that's one of the characteristics, I think, of a legend also, wanting to grow the sport and has a passion to grow it.
And I want to throw in there, Gary, it also... when Bob Cobb puts his arm around you, and you're looking at the legendary Bob Cobb, and you're just an old humble sports writer from a broken home and things like that, and you see a guy like Bob Cobb, that's your idol sitting there, buddy, and you have a chance to rub shoulders with these guys. Hey, we appreciate it, cuz. Look forward to seeing you next Saturday, man. It's going to be a great weekend. All right.
It is. I'm bringing, like I said, I'm bringing a passel of people. And,
a passel of people.
I'll be the first one at the door. God bless each one of you people.
Look forward to seeing you, cuz.
Thank you. All right.
We'll see you. We'll see you then, cuz.
All right, buddies. Let's take a break on Outdoors with Larry Ray, and we'll be right back.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we roll toward next week and our 24th anniversary on the air. That's hard to believe. Somebody didn't think we'd make it 24 hours, but we're still kicking. Been doing this a long time, and it's always good. My sidekick here on the second Saturday of each month is in the room, is our good friend Ron Wong. And Ron, you've been a long part of this team forever.
Yeah.
And it's a fun show, and this day is a special show, right?
It really is a special show, Larry, and good morning again, everybody. We're talking with Gary Mason on the line for the whole show, talking about the upcoming Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame induction ceremony to be held at the Johnny and Jenny Morris Convention Center in Springfield, Missouri next Saturday. And I have to tell you, I'm so excited about it because of just being surrounded by all of these wonderful people of the outdoors. And I call them all celebrities because they are. They represent the outdoors in such a grand manner.
Well, we've got the man himself on with us, helping to help put this show together today, as we do each year, and that is Gary Mason, the founder of the Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame. And to this day, he knows my wife's a better fisherman than I am. Okay, I mean, Gary.
I wasn't going to say that.
Well, Gary was going.
I wasn't going to bring that up.
Yes, you were. I wanted to get it out of the way. Earlier, But this.
But speaking of legends, we've got two really great legends on the line with us, and that's Bill and Tyler Jordan. And I tell you, these guys. I've gotten to meet Tyler a couple of times, but I've yet to get to meet Bill, and so it's going to be a real pleasure, Bill, to stand on that stage with you coming up next Saturday.
We're glad to
tell you, Tyler and I both are looking forward to being there.
And, folks, back, I don't know what year, I think it was August last year. I'm not really for sure, but we had Tyler and Bill. Of course, this is the first family of Realtree and Columbus, Georgia, and all these different kind of things. And Bill was there at the ground level and seen this company and the industry change, as we talked about off the air, over the years. But to have family, Bill, I know you're going into the Hall of Fame, well deserved. But I think your company was founded on family, wasn't it, Bill?
No, absolutely. You know me for a long time, and when we first got in this business, you were just trying to make a living, and and again, obviously having kids, and Realtree was came out before Tyler was born, and so but to have family involved in your business and what you enjoy doing and liking is a bonus. And that's not Tyler, but I have a beautiful 18-year-old daughter and a 15-year-old son, and they're both actively involved in the outdoors as Tyler. So as a parent, my wife and I both couldn't be more pleased.
And Tyler, Bill, I know that Tyler's got a reason to be up there too. Of course, not only to share the stage with his dad and see these things happen, and another award for Bill, but Gary Mason, I think Tyler's going to get recognized, right, Gary?
He is. I've been very impressed with Tyler. And Bill, you've raised a great young man there, and I know he's coming into the business and helping. And so this year, Tyler is going to be awarded the Legacy of the Outdoors award, which is given to a son or daughter or grandson or grandchild of our Hall of Fame members. And we're just so tickled to get to award that to Tyler in the same year that you're going in.
Yeah, how about that?
So cool.
How about that, Tyler?
So cool.
How about that, Tyler?
Yeah, I mean, I'm so honored and flattered by that. I mean, obviously for me, I just feel super lucky to be able to, have the relationships that I've had in this industry for a long time, and just super blessed. But I think, like Dad kind of mentioned, it all starts with family and relationships. Some of my best friends and have come from this industry and still remain a lot of really good friendships in here. So. Just blessed to be a part of it and honored for the award.
And I know, Tyler, you're very involved now. We talked about social media and everything. Bill, how about that now? When we were coming along, X, Twitter, Scatter, Motor, whatever they are now, But, Tyler, I know you're doing that part of the family too, right? I mean,
yes, sir. Yeah. The social media obviously is, kind of part of, I guess, that younger generation, some of that, just it's come along here in the last 15 or 20 years, and it's kind of escalated here lately, but, it's become an integral part of our business, just like TV shows, was back in the 90s. And so you kind of have to stay on the cutting edge of that because it changes daily, the social media and the YouTube. So it's always something new, it seems like.
And Bill, I know that relationship with your family goes all the way back. I know you've talked about it before with your dad, Leon, having a boat, what boat dealership, didn't he? Is that right?
Correct. We had two boat dealerships, and my dad owned a small boat manufacturing facility in Florida as well. But I certainly have an outdoor background for sure.
And I know this, so many friends, and be able to go into this, the Legends of the Outdoor Hall of Fame. When I saw that name and I saw your name, and I knew that you put your family first, the company, and all these other different kind of things like that. Ever in your wildest dreams growing up, Bill, did you ever expect this to become what it's become?
Not really. I tell you, obviously you may hear this a little bit as I talk next weekend, which I'm looking forward to, but in the beginning, for all of us, like young entrepreneurs, we were just trying to make a living.
Yeah.
And, and that's how really I got started. I didn't have a blueprint to business about how to do this thing. And, about 4 or 5 years into the business, being on the TNN, the national network at the time, and seeing how powerful television was. And probably the best thing that ever happened to me is knowing we went into so many households and we made a family difference. I never get tired of people coming up and saying, man, we grew up watching you on Realtree Outdoors. Man, you made us a better outdoorsman.
Yes.
I never get tired of that. And so, after about 4 or 5 years, when I knew Realtree was going to make it, my mission was to try to get as many people involved in the outdoors. And so hopefully we've done that.
Yeah, you did. And you came along at the time, right? I mean, the time was right, I think, at that time, back in the late 80s and things along that line. And as I've told everybody, again, we're talking to Tyler and Bill Jordan of the Realtree family, and Bill is going inducting into the Hall of Fame. Gary Mason's a Legend of the Outdoor Hall of Fame. next Saturday morning, and I still go back to that family, friends, and the outdoors. Is that still the key? Is that still the key?
No, it's the key to us and our culture here at our office. And I wish people could spend a day or a week in our office.
Yes.
The fun that we have in here and the culture that we have, and everybody's pulling for each other. And even when things aren't going extremely well for everybody, we have a lot of what I call pick-me-up people here. And
yes.
So our attitude and our culture, I couldn't be any happier.
And Gary, I know that when I look at the 8 people going in this year, and I see Bill Jordan, and I see Bobby Hart, and I see the other ones that are going in. Will Primos is going in, Bill. I mean,
and I knew that, and I tell you, Will and I've known each other for a long time. Forever, and another Ole Miss connection there.
There you go, hotty toddy.
I did not mean that to come into that.
Well, Ryan, we were going to work it in somehow when we were.
That's exactly right.
Listen to that, but I know
Larry sat there right there above us in Memphis, looking down on Oxford a lot.
Oh, I've looked down at Oxford a whole lot. Okay, let's.
Well, one thing that I do want to tell your listeners, and this is how much people have got respect for Bill Jordan. After I got off the phone with Tyler, and Tyler told me that Bill would come and accept his nomination and be inducted in the Hall of Fame this year. When I got off the phone with Tyler, and I've told Tyler this, but Bill, you may not know yet, the next phone call I made was to a real good friend of mine, a guy named Bill Sugg down in West Point, Mississippi. Yeah. And I called Bill and I said, Bill, I just wanted you to know that Bill Jordan has accepted his nomination and is going to be inducted in this year's Legends Outdoors Hall of Fame. And Bill's exact words were, I can't think of a more deserving person. Well, and I just thought that was the coolest thing in the world, because.
Well, I tell you, and what a nice gentleman he is as well, and I certainly appreciate that from coming from him, and I think for all of us as we get older, which I'm certainly there, but so appreciative of everybody that we've come in contact with, and I think at the end of the day we live by that motto, family, friends, and outdoors. And we just hope that I've inspired a lot of people to get more involved in outdoors. But it's been a wonderful blessing for me. And I just got to thank Gary as well. I mean, probably should have done this a little bit earlier in some regards, but never too late, and very appreciative of what Gary's done for us.
Well,
when we created the Legend of the Outdoors, Bill, it was exactly for a one day that we all come together as in brotherly love and sisterly love, and we could all come together regardless of where we sat across the aisle or across the shelf from one another.
That's right.
No matter, I mean, this is a day of just a family reunion, and that's what it's all about. We're going to celebrate God. We're going to celebrate our country. We're going to celebrate our soldiers. And we're most of all going to celebrate the life and careers of some wonderful people, and you're one of them. And I just thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything you've done for everybody in the industry that you've touched, because you've touched probably way more people than you know.
Well, I certainly appreciate the kind words. I really do.
Have you told, Gary, Bill how much time he's got when he gets his speech? I mean, watch it, Bill.
Well,
well, I got 10 minutes. I got 10 minutes. I want to talk about Ole Miss.
Oh my God!
Well, I was getting ready to say, take 10 minutes for Ole Miss and the upcoming season, and then you got 10 more minutes.
Ron, there's a button over you can push. Okay, push the button there. But no,
don't cut my mic off after about 5 minutes. I got it.
No, Bill. We look forward to. I know when I stood up there and you speak from the heart, and I talked about my cancer and all these different kind of things, and we talked. You even asked me how I was doing. I really appreciate that, Bill, because in my 50 years in this industry, I hope that I've touched some folks through not only broadcasting and writing, but I'm proud of what you guys have done. I'm just saying that from us here at Outdoors with Larry Ray, and I hope we played a little part in that. And appreciate you. And Tyler, boy, I'm so happy for you. I can see that. I look forward to meeting you, Tyler. And I hope I see a big picture of a big something this year on social media of you smiling behind that big whatever it might be. Okay.
Well, I'm looking forward to going up and seeing everybody. I'm going to get a little bit of a break. I've been trying to train. I'm going on a moose hunt in September. My first.
All right.
This will be a nice break and reunion to see everybody and different people I know in the industry I haven't seen in a long time. So it'll be a nice hiatus before we get back to training again.
Okay. Well, I want a picture. Okay. I want to see what you did.
Definitely.
All right, buddy. All right, Bill, Tyler. Thank you, man. Y'all safe travels. Look forward to seeing you next Saturday in Springfield.
See you next Saturday.
Okay, buddies. All right.
Thank you. Good to meet y'all. Thank you.
All right. Have a great day. All right.
Bye-bye.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on this special edition of Outdoors with Larry Ray as we celebrate our 24th anniversary on next week's show. We'll tell you a little bit more about that later in the show today, but this is our preview of the 22nd annual Legends of the Mid-South, Legends of the Outdoors, Hall of Fame banquet coming up exactly a week ago from today. And our good friend Gary Mason, the founder of the Legends of the Outdoors, is one of our co-hosts. Good Saturday morning, Gary, to you. And
hey, Larry, glad to be here.
Thank you for the lineup. And, of course, I have my one and only interpreter over here. If no one can understand me, I turn to Ron Wong.
I'm not sure anybody understands me.
Oh, I understand you, Ron. And he is the official photographer for next week's event.
Looking forward to a wonderful event.
And we have got another guest on today's show. He's going into the class of 2024, one of 8. And I know, Gary, why don't you introduce this next guest? Because I think when you introduce his name, I've already teased everybody on Facebook about this guy, but introduce this next guest for us, Gary.
Well, I tell you what, I just don't know everything that I can say about this guy. This guy knows more about long-range rifle shooting and building rifles than any person I've ever met and talked to. And to get to share time with Bobby and his lovely wife, Deb, last year was just a true blessing for Cindy and I. And we hit it off. There's just some people in the world that you just have a great relationship the minute you meet them, and that's Bobby and Deb Hart. But this guy, he's the guru of long-range rifle shooting, and man, I wouldn't want him shooting at me at any distance. But Bobby, great to have you on the show, man.
Really great to be here. It's an incredible day. Never thought a day like this would come. Meeting you and your wonderful family has been life-changing. The Legends, the first time I went there was absolutely, there's just no words for it.
Well, Bobby, and folks know Bobby Hart from whether you're talking about his gunsmithing, his gun building, whatever he might do out of Pennsylvania. And to think about this, is this not a true testament of the Legends of the Outdoors when a guy from West Tennessee can hook up with a guy from Pennsylvania and speak the same language, Bobby? I mean,
it's incredible the technology we have today, the changes that have been made from when I started my career.
Yes.
Back in the day, we didn't have any really good. I started out with an old Barn Stroud rangefinder military.
Oh my gosh.
I saved a long time for that. It was an inverted image, and it was the first, and then I finally ended up saving enough money I could get a Russian laser rangefinder, and I only had that about 3 months, and a friend of mine came and said, "You paid a lot of money for that, didn't you?" And I said, "Well, I saved for a long time, paid $3,000 for it." He said, "Well, if the battery goes bad, you're out $3,000. So
oh man,
it didn't take me long to get rid of that. And then I got an Integrated Technologies laser rangefinder. I saved a long time for that. I actually still have it. It still works very well.
Really? And you are a fourth generation, is that right?
Yes, sir. I'm fourth generation.
So your dad, Wally? Wasn't that your dad's name, Wally? And
that's my father.
And so
started out my great grandfather, and then it went to my grandfather, passed down to my dad, and then I had the biggest shoes to fill because I'm the fourth generation.
Wow.
And,
but it's what you've done, though, Bobby. Talk about the evolution of the long shot, because a lot of folks, I have mentioned when I looked up a lot about Bobby, get this, folks, 13 groundhogs at over 1,000 yards. Can you come out and shoot a mole for me in my yard? I need that, Bobby. But and his longest hit was an elk at 1,900 yards. This is not this is not something that somebody can develop overnight. I mean, you've taken it to the limits here.
Yeah, I did, and it was an amazing day that day when we were out there elk hunting. I actually I still have the shot on video.
Do you?
Yes, I do. Back in the day. I got invited to go out to an elk hunt with a friend of mine. It's Greg Clacy's a name from New York. And I built him a 338 Hart, which is today, it's the 338 Edge. Sean Carlock finally standardized it.
Yeah.
But back in the day, it was originally a 404 RWS case, and it took about 4 different buttons to get it down from 404 down to 338, so you didn't ruin the brass.
Yeah.
It was quite an event, but the day before we were shooting out at 2,000 yards, and
2,000.
Back in the day we didn't have the quality scopes and stuff that we have today.
Yeah.
So it was old school.
Old school. And you did this in the legendary career that you started, Bobby, over these many years. You've kept that take a heart on the hunt. I think that's still your motto, right? If I'm not mistaken.
It's take your heart on the hunt.
Take your heart on the hunt. Okay.
So it handles both.
It handles both. And when you get this and you get the call from Gary, talk about what it means to you. Then I'll let Gary talk a little bit about that to go into the legends, Bobby.
Yeah, it's I just, I can't believe it. I think anybody that's at the Legends is an everyday guy and never dreamed in his wildest dreams that anything would happen to him like this.
Yes.
We're a very, close group of people, and the people that I have met through my career are just everyday guys. Jim Cromley was the first guy to ever come out with the modern day camo, and then you got the King, Bill Jordan.
Yes, yeah.
And I know he's not happy with anything they do. He presses the limit really hard to get the best that he can get.
Yeah.
And I'm sure he never expected anything like this to happen.
No, he just said that right before you came on the air. He was the guest before you.
Oh.
And so he explained that to us. But Gary, when you think about Bobby joining this group of 8, what was your what do you feel about Bobby coming in, Gary?
Well, I'll just tell you, this guy has done so much for long range shooting, especially, but for rifle builds and helping people learn about calibers and what these bullets and loads will do. And I think that's the essence of a legend. It's somebody that is willing to teach others what they know, the knowledge they have, and pass that knowledge on. And Bobby Hart exemplifies that exact thing. I mean, he is truly leaving a legacy of what he does, what his dad, granddad, great-granddad done. And in the future, there's going to be generations that's going to look back, and Bobby Hart is going to be long remembered for the contributions that he made to his portion of our sport.
And Bobby, when you hear Gary say something like that, do you consider yourself a teacher at heart, so to speak?
Here's the whole thing I look at. I'm not a teacher. I'm not an instructor, and I'm sure not a professional anything. I'm just an everyday guy from Nescopec, Pennsylvania, who loves what he does and loves to be in the fraternity that we're in. And I'm passionate about education. I'm only here by the grace of God.
There you
go. Got here. I don't know why I'm still alive. I've lost a lot of friends to cancer. I had stage 4 cancer, and I beat it. And I told my wife one night, I said, I don't know how long I've got left here, but I sure don't want to be that guy that said, hey, I should have apprenticed something, or I should have really got passionate about it.
Yes.
And I've been doing long-range shooting schools for over 30 years now, and I'm very passionate about that. And right now, that's truly all I want to do is spend time sharing my passion with other people so that they too can pass it on to the next generation of people that really want to do and learn a little bit. Wow. And that's why my motto is, I always say, if you give me the time, I want to help you make the next best shot of your life. And that's really what I'm passionate about, is helping other people.
And, Bobby, I don't know, but we can relate because I'm in cancer remission right now, and I had no hair when I went in the Hall of Fame up there in Springfield. Wow. And so I don't know. Isn't that the way that things are brought together? I had no idea about yours. You probably didn't know about mine.
I did not.
But we run into people like this, even in my 50 years of doing what I'm doing, and know that I was able to share my message up there that day. And Gary, it was a tough message, Gary, as you remember, as I talked up there, and my hair was just starting to grow back. But to hear that, Bobby, God bless you, buddy. I mean, because we're all here for a reason. Yes.
Yeah.
And Gary, you just heard that too. I think I'm going to hear a really nice speech next week, Bobby. Okay, I can't wait.
It's going to be try to be short. I know there's a lot going on out there, and there's a lot of things I really want to say, but I think I really want to keep it short and keep to the point of really what it means.
Yes.
For me to be in the Legends. It's just incredible. I just want to be able to continue my passion and do what I enjoy doing here.
Yes.
And sharing what I'm passionate about, and that's the education side of showing people how to shoot further distances and help them make the next shot of their lives, as well as, put the guns together that I'm really passionate about.
We never know when we're going to make our last shot, Bobby.
That is the truth.
That is the truth, and
absolutely
make the most of that last shot. As I sit in that deer stand at 81 years old and say, man, how fortunate am I to be able to be doing what I can do at my age, and be through what we've been through. But God bless you, Bobby. Look forward to seeing you in person next Saturday at the Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame. Thank you for taking time to be on Outdoors with Larry Ray. And again, man, congratulations, okay?
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to seeing you guys.
All right. Thanks, Bobby.
We'll see you then, Bobby.
Have a great day.
See you next week.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, good Saturday morning. Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray. As once again, come next week, next week's show, we'll celebrate 24 years on the air. And, of course, we're on every Saturday morning right here in Memphis on AM 790 and 92.9 HD FM from 9 to 10:30. And all you good folks in Brownsville on 1520 AM, 95.3 FM, and, of course, News Talk 101 in Jackson, Tennessee. I've got to say Tennessee because this next guy would get confused if I say Jackson because he's going to think we're talking about Mississippi, and we're not going to talk about that. But we're doing our annual preview of the Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame banquet, which will be going on at this time next Saturday, and our good friend and founder of the Legends of the Outdoors, Gary Mason, is on the line. He's our co-host, and along with my good buddy Ron Wong, he was a brother by another mother over here.
Yes, sir.
We've been doing this for so long. But Gary, I know this next guest is a longtime friend of Outdoors with Larry Ray. I know when I became outdoor editor to the Commercial Appeal back in 1988, not 1888, some people may think, Henry Reynolds finally retired. And I think one of the first 3 or 4 stories, I made a trip to Mississippi. and not knowing that this young man right here at that time and his family out of the restaurant business was going to do what they did. But I am so proud of this next guest that's going into the class of 2024. Won't you tell us who this next guest is, Gary?
Well, boy, I'll be glad to, because we're certainly very, very glad that we're going to get to induct this gentleman. And, you know, when you think about turkey hunting like I do in the springtime, you can't think about turkey hunting without thinking about Will Primos.
Yes.
And that's just, I mean, you just, if you're a turkey hunter, you know who Will Primos is, you know what he's done, you know the products that he makes and the great career that he's had in the industry. And you know how many people he's touched throughout the whole outdoors industry of hunting and fishing. And I can't thank him enough for all that he's done. And I can't wait to stand on that stage with him. So please welcome to the show, Will Primos.
There you go.
Thank you so much, Gary. Thank you, Larry. Thank you, Ron. Y'all are incredible. I got to start out real quick by saying I'm gonna kind of borrow something that a friend of mine said to me one day. He said, you know, I've garnered a whole lot more respect than what I deserve. And that's all I can say, because we started out doing what we were doing, trying to share the outdoors with people and to make a company and to make products that would benefit people in the woods. And and we had no clue what we were doing. But, you know, when we look back at it, the whole goal as video became available in 1986 to the average guy, and we started videoing and sharing everything, I said, you know what? If we can teach people what it's all about, if we can show them this world of the wild turkey, the world of the elk, the world of waterfowl, all the world of predators, all the critters, if we can show it to them and they'll experience it, they'll learn to love it. And if they'll learn to love it, they'll want to protect it. And that's been the greatest honor of all, that it did work.
And you've also you speak the truth too, Will. I mean,
well, that's a unique story how that name came about.
Yeah, well, Cuz Strickland was on earlier in this show, and I know you guys go back a long way, and to think about where you've come from. Of course, I've known you forever in the restaurant business and the turkey calls, and one time you may not remember this, but I told you I gag on a mouth call. And one time you sent me 3. I gagged on 3 of them, you know, so.
I remember.
Yes, and I'm still trying at 81 to make it through it. But I tell people right now, Will, I'm 81 and I can't vacuum the den, but I can crawl 100 yards on my stomach to try to kill a turkey. So, I mean.
You're a good turkey hunter.
I try. If you heard about the first one I ever killed, I'll tell you that story sometime. But again, congratulations. And I know this. Talk about where you've been and the feeling about going into this Hall of Fame, Will, because I know that you represent a lot of folks in your company and your journey that you recognize that you would not be where you are. And I say this in my life too, without your faith. I know that's an important part of yours, like it is for mine. But talk about the journey to where you're going to be. And next Saturday, at this time, next Saturday in Springfield, they're going to give you 5 minutes, Will. You better be ready to talk.
Well, I'm not going to take 5 minutes, but I'm going to tell you what, my faith is very important, and you carry that faith in everything that you do from the moment you get up to all that you do, knowing that somebody, the good Lord, is up there looking down, and I want to please Him if at all possible. But we didn't know what we were doing. We just got out there and decided to try. And to get the phone call from Gary, and I'm going, Gary, there's so many. I don't know that I. I just don't know that I deserve or should be. No, Will. I promise you. And it's amazing the people that have reached out, that you have touched, the people that walk up to you and say, I did not have a daddy who hunted. I didn't have an uncle. I had nobody. And I learned to love what y'all were doing, and I did it, and I'm a great turkey hunter now, and I'm a great elk hunter now, and I can call ducks I could call predators. It's just incredible the people that have walked up and said thank you.
Yeah.
And I went, holy smoke, that's incredible.
Yeah.
Because I didn't have a clue.
No, but you had an idea. What will we do without VCRs? Okay, I can mention that to something my granddaughter and says, "What's a VCR?"
Still got mine.
I got mine.
Yeah.
And I even mentioned what's a CD and a DVD. With this generation, Will, to think where you guys started, and despite what you said, you guys have played such an important part in the evolution of the industry that you jumped into, which is very competitive and things along that line. And I know, Gary, to see Will and get up on that stage, Will, I tell you what, you may say you can't talk for 5 minutes, but you don't know what God's put on your heart to say. And a lot of times that 5 minutes will make a lot of impression because that room's going to be packed, Will. And there's going to be people up there that you have touched in your lifetime.
Well, thank you. Yeah, I'm looking forward to being there with everybody and seeing all the other inductees. Going back real quick is, you're telling on our age. I'm 72, and
No, you can't be, Will. You can't be. You're just a young pup, Will. You're still.
I know it. But when we created in 1983 the audio cassette,
yes,
I involved an older gentleman named Russell Davis.
Yes,
and Russell Davis was on that tape with me. And he referred to, I'm so glad y'all are making this record. So before the audio cassette was the record.
Yes. Well, you've just used another word, cassette, that people are driving down the street. Right? What did he just say? He said cassette. What is a cassette? But the evolution of the sport itself, Will, does it blow your mind what it is today?
It's just been fantastic. Timing is a huge deal.
Yes.
When you were born, the decade, the century, the opportunities that come your way, and if it hadn't been for others to create the ability to have the technology of an audio cassette, and then then the video, then the VHS, and then the DVD, and now streaming. We wouldn't have the opportunity to share what so many people have spent so many hours learning.
Yes.
And now you can go and access that information and go and enjoy the outdoors in a way that you wouldn't have been able to otherwise.
Specialized social media. I didn't know what social media was back in until 15, 20 years ago, and now it is what it is. But Gary, again, getting back to Will going in to the legend of the Outdoor Hall of Fame. It's indeed a recognition of what not only he's done, but that industry, right, Gary?
Oh, absolutely. And the people around him, the people that's worked for him. One of my best friends is a guy right here in Henry County that has been a Primos guy for
I know who you're talking about.
Many years. Keith Hickman, and Keith was the president of the National Wild Turkey Federation in Tennessee, and has done a lot of work. And when you put good people like Keith and Natalie Hickman around you, you've got to be successful. And Will has put a lot of great people around him. And Will, I can't say enough thank yous to you for all you've done and the people that you surrounded yourself with.
Well, thank you. I've been very, very lucky that so many people were a part. So many people were so much better at some aspect of what we did than I was, and helped carry that ball. Like Keith and Natalie, oh my gosh, they do up there, and the passion that they show, the volunteering, the many hours that they put in just for others. It's just pretty incredible.
And they run a nice golf course, too, if anybody wants to go to Paris Landing State Park golf course. And
I golf so bad I got to holler 3 instead of 4. So.
Well, let's just say I'm playing once a week, and I'm still trying to make a hole-in-one, but I hadn't made one yet. I've got a hole in my head, I think, for even doing it like this. But, again, Will, congratulations. Thank you for taking time to be on Outdoors with Larry Ray today, buddy, and thank you for the friendship over the years and the products you have donated to try to make me and others a better hunter, whatever it might be. And from that one start with that love for turkey hunting, it's just speak the language. And when you came out with that phrase, you have made a lot of folks happy.
Well, thank you. We were very lucky. A girl in my office thought that up, and she was spot on when she came to me with that name.
It's stuck, man, and telling the truth, too. Well, thank you, buddy, and look forward to seeing you next Saturday.
Thank you,
in
guys.
Springfield,
Thank you,
buddy.
Ron. Thank you, Gary. Thank you, Larry.
All right, buddy.
See you next weekend.
You'll always be
Bye-bye.
You'll always be a young pup to me. Bye-bye.
Yes, sir. See you next week.
See
All
ya.
right.
All right.
Welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray on ESPN 790 AM.
Brought to you proudly by the Tennessee Wildlife and Resources Agency.
Hey, welcome back to Outdoors with Larry Ray as we wrap up this special edition of Outdoors with Larry Ray as we preview next Saturday's Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame induction ceremonies at the Johnny and Jenny Morris Conference Center right there at Bass Pro Shops in Springfield, Missouri, and can't wait to be there. Me and Miriam will be up there staying at the Anglers Lodge right across the street, and look forward to all the festivities. But we're going to kind of wrap up today's show with the man who helped put it together and also the official photographer who will be taking thousands of photographs as he runs around and breaks out 2 pairs of tennis shoes, is our good friend Ron Wong. And this has been a fun show. Ron, I know you've enjoyed it, listening in and
absolutely,
and commenting about it. And before we let Gary kind of wrap up this thing, Ron, from your perspective, what do you get out of that event next Saturday? What are you most looking forward to? Besides the food,
it's kind of Larry. Surprisingly, my takeaway every year from this event is the new rejuvenated energy I get from being in that room with all of these legends and all of these celebrities of the outdoors and what they do, why they do it, and it's all for a common cause, and that's to grow the industry. And it rejuvenates me for another year to continue to do what I can do to help grow the outdoor industry, whether it's fishing or hunting, archery, track, whatever.
Yes.
Hiking, because the more people we can get involved in the outdoors, the less problems we will have and everything else that goes on in our lives.
Well said.
And it's also, because of the outdoors, that is one outlet that everybody has that they can use as a stress relief. Nothing like sitting on a boat in a lake, whether you're catching anything or not, but just the serenity. And to get people involved into that, it makes me so happy. And this particular event gets me all excited and more energy to do more in the next year.
Well said, Ron. And I know, Gary, as you listen in on this, and I can't imagine the work that you and your family, your board of directors, all you guys and gals do to put this over, because you have a great auction. You have a lot of patriotism. You have a lot of faith in this thing. But this is not something easy you could do overnight. I know as soon as this one's over next week, you start looking toward next year. But talk about the lead up to this, Gary, and the satisfaction that you get, because it's a lot of work. This is not something you can put over overnight. And the move to the present location has been a plus too. So just talk about that.
That is a big plus.
Yeah, talk about it, Gary.
Yeah, Johnny invited us to move there several years ago, and we kind of outgrew the General Jackson Showboat in Nashville, Tennessee. Great location there.
Great location.
But we outgrew that. We couldn't put our silent auction in the Showboat now, and but so many people have come on board since we've moved it to Springfield, Missouri, and you're right, Larry. This is it's a labor of love. It's hard to put all this together each and every year, but we have a lot of support from people like you guys that help us promote it and help us gather items and stuff that makes it be a really good program. And I listen to these guys doing your radio show, Will Primos and Cuz and all of them, and the one single thing that comes out with each one of these guys is they all said they didn't have an idea or a clue about what they were doing when they first got started.
Yeah.
And I think none of us do. I know surely that when I started this, and I tell everybody the Lord gave me this idea because I wasn't smart enough to do it on my own. But when Cindy and I started this, we didn't have a clue what we were doing.
Yeah.
We just hoped that we could put this together and promote it and say thanks to the men and women that had helped the rest of us follow in their footsteps. And that's what our tagline is following the footsteps.
Yeah.
So we just hope that all that would come about. And, I want to tell you guys this. The Bible says when you ask God for something, when you ask Jesus for something, you'll get more than you ask for. And I can tell you that each and every day he's given me and Cindy way more and our family way more than we've asked for. And he's given us the Legends of the Outdoors Hall of Fame. But the most important thing to me is he's given me the friendship of all those who walk up on that stage and say thank you to the folks that have helped get them where they are at.
Yeah. Well said, Gary. And I know if you ask, you better be prepared.
That's exactly right.
That's right.
You may get back tenfold what you asked for. And if it's not right, you won't get anything. But this is something that's right. And the way you guys put the program together, it's not a one-man Gary Mason team. You have a team, don't you, Gary? I mean that.
Well, I've got Miss Lorelei Kearns who works with me, and then my team is Miss Cindy and our whole family of two sons and a daughter and daughter-in-laws and son-in-law. And grandkids.
Yeah.
I mean, everybody from the least little one who's 5 years old to my 28-year-old grandson and his lovely wife will all be there. They'll all be helping, and we couldn't do it without them. They're our labor, and we try to do nice stuff for them throughout the year, so they'll help us because we couldn't do it without them.
And your board of directors. A lot of folks don't.
And my board of directors, and we try not to bother the board too much with stuff, but each and every one of them are there for us, and they're out working right now to help get auction items for us. Jimmy Keltner just come on the board, and he called me today and had a couple of auction items for us.
There you go, yeah.
That's what helps us build that auction. And ladies, I'll tell you, you'll go to these Ducks Unlimited and Cousins Forever banquets and stuff, and not a lot of times is there a lot of stuff for the ladies.
Yes, but there is here.
Not running those organizations down. They're great organizations, and I'm a member of most of them. But you come to our auction, you're going to see a lot of stuff that Miss Cindy and my daughter and daughter-in-laws have gathered up for the ladies because they want to make sure the ladies have got something to bid on.
I've got some of them in my house. You don't have to tell me that. I mean, that wonderful 10 Commandments. That we got one year is an amazing thing, and the conversation piece. Again, we're talking to Gary Mason, founder of the Legend of the Outdoors Hall of Fame, and Gary is out of West Tennessee. He's also a part of the fishing family at Bethel, and has so many other hats in the fire, so to speak. But this event will be next Saturday. Doors open at 9, right, Gary? Program about 10:30, and it'll go to about 3, and you'll have lunch, and it's already sold out, the 40 tables, and there's so much auction items and things on that line, and Springfield is a great destination, folks. So if you can't go this year, put it on your calendar for next year. It's about this same time every year in August, isn't it, Gary? I mean,
yes, sir. It's always the third weekend in August, third Saturday in August.
There you go, folks.
Mm-hmm. And so
circle
you can set your calendars right now, and I can tell you I've already got. I'm not giving away any secrets, but I've already got 3 inductees for next year.
See wow. There? Okay, now, so we're doing 8 this year. What's the total number in there now, Gary? What you got about?
I believe there's 168. Counting the ones that are going to go in this year, I believe. I'd have to go back and look.
It's a big name.
It's a who's who in the outdoor world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. If you go to our website, you can see everyone that's in there. And
tell them where do they go for that. Yeah.
They can go to www.legendsoftheoutdoors.com. And I apologize, we're building a brand new website, so not everything is on there yet, but there's still a lot of information on there, and it will get a lot bigger.
But you can go through there and see all the past inductees, I know.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
That you can look at the name. Yeah, you can look and get bios from them, but you also have a Facebook presence, right, Gary?
Yes,
we have a social media presence.
Yeah.
We do. I have my personal page, which is Gary Mason with 2 R's.
Yes, 2
R's.
And
we have Legends of the Outdoors. We have Legends Outdoors TV. And then we also have the Louisiana chapter of the Legends Outdoors.
That's right.
So there's several ways that you can go on there and receive information, or you can just contact me directly at 731-693-7770, and I will return your call.
Isn't that so, folks? How many people will put their number out there for you? But I want to salute you, Gary, and this show has been always one of my most fun shows to do. We love it every year, and appreciate you doing that. And before we let everybody go, I do want to be sure and announce that we will have our 21st anniversary show next week. Ron, we'll get you to call in. I want you to be a part of that next week's show. Frank Barton and John Gordon will be the co-host, and we're going to salute a lot of folks next week. We're also going to talk about the wonderful Discovery Park of America, because they've got a big event. The birthday of David Crockett is coming up next weekend. The same weekend is our anniversary show, and you folks know that they won't call him. They do not call him Davy up there. It's David Crockett, and we're going to talk a lot about that on next week's show. We might even have some cookies. I don't know what my wife may have.
Well, you know.
Larry, if there's cookies, I'll probably come in.
What?
Larry, you probably don't know this, but my father's best friend is a guy named Crockett Mathis, who's still alive. He's 85 years old.
Yeah.
And Crockett is Davy Crockett's great-great-great-great-grandson.
Really?
Wow.
His first name is Crockett? His first name is
Crockett.
Oh, man.
And he has traveled all over the country with me fishing and hunting back when his health was good. He's starting to dwindle just a little bit, but he still gets out. But what a wonderful man! And
that's next week.
Wow.
Yeah, we have prairie dog hunted together in South Dakota, and pheasant hunted and duck hunted in West Tennessee and other places together. He's quite an outdoor.
Well, it's next Saturday at the Discovery Park of Americas, and we'll talk to Scott Williams about that on next week's show. Ron Wall, thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Larry. It's been a great show, Gary. Always good to have you on the show, and I look forward to seeing you next Friday night and Saturday.
And what do we always do on this show? It doesn't cost an extra cent to be a good sport. And what else we do?
God bless the USA.